Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to Gymports. Today we are doing the BaT-tle Royale. Battle, because we're looking at bring a trailer auctions like BaT-tle Royale. Never mind. We're looking at some eye-popping car auction results from Bring a Trailer in December 2024, and I'm going to give them to you this way. Car A, Car B, which one do you think sold for more? Tell me what you think in the comments. Lock in your guess. We're going to look at 5 matchups, and we're going to see who wins the BaT-tle Royale. This guy. That was not timed, just some regular old asshole driving right at the end of my intro in New Orleans. Ooh, the first matchup, a 1987 Chevy Silverado pickup truck with less than 100 miles on it versus a 1985 FJ60 Toyota Land Cruiser, a truck near and dear to my heart as I have owned an FJ62. Beautiful cars. Which one sold for more? Let's look at both.
The 1987 Chevy Silverado from this listing is a veritable time capsule. Get in it, you would swear it's a hot Tuscaloosa summer in the late 80s. You've got your mullet tucked neatly under your trucker hat, and you're wearing your Wranglers and matching Sherpa jacket. Pack of Marbs in the front pocket. You take a sip from a can of original Budweiser and wave to Deputy Bill as you pass him driving up Highway 216 listening to your new favorite song, If I Could Turn Back Time. That was pretty good, huh? Well, you don't need to turn back time to get a new 1987 Silverado because this one just came off the lot, basically. Just 67 miles on the odometer. It's as close as you'll get to buying a brand new truck from the late 80s, and it's a looker. 5.7-liter V8 4-speed automatic make it a perfect example of a classic American truck. But if it were me, and we're talking about trucks from the 80s, in my opinion, nothing better than the 60 Series Toyota Land Cruiser, especially this Restomod 1985 FJ60. It's got a body that looks like it's 40 years old, but the heart of a teen. A bit like Ariana Grande, I guess. That's because it's powered by a swapped-in 6-liter Chevy Vortec V8 engine taken out of a Chevy Tahoe, bringing a clean engine and 330 horsepower to a legendary off-roading platform with classic lines. While the Vortec doubles the FJ60's original horsepower, the OEM FJ60 4.2-liter inline-6 engine known as the 2F was considered bulletproof. Ironically, the 2F engine was based on the Chevrolet Corvette C1 235 engine itself. So in a way, putting a Chevy engine into a 60 Series isn't exactly blasphemy. But which one sold for more, the minty fresh 87 Silverado or the modernized FJ60? Modern amenities in a classic car body can actually fetch a pretty decent amount of money, like the $47,000 this Land Cruiser sold for, but collectors pay top dollar for originality. And if it's any 30 or 40-year-old vehicle, no matter how plain, it can reach 6 figures if it's got less than 100 miles on it, which is why this Silverado sold for $151,000. That's got to be like 20 times its 1987 MSRP.
And next, we've got a rivalry match. Chevy versus Ford, specifically 1970 Corvette versus 1967 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 Fastback in green. One of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen in my life. Let's go over the details and you tell me which one sold for more.
With only 25 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1s built in 1970, this Corvette is a unicorn. The ZR1 was built for racing, with the car stripped of comfort features like air conditioning, power steering, even a radio, simply for weight reduction and pure performance. Equipped with a 370 horsepower, 350 cubic inch V8, a Muncie Rock Crusher 4-speed manual transmission, and race suspension, this Corvette was engineered to dominate on the track. Which is why it's kind of weird that it's convertible and not a hardtop. And even weirder, blue vinyl bucket seats. This one was featured on the cover of September 1988 Sports Car magazine. Yeah, Corvettes are cool, but Shelby Mustangs are the coolest. This is one of my dream cars, the Shelby GT500, the top-tier performance Mustang introduced by Carroll Shelby in 1967, featuring a monster 428 cubic inch Interceptor V8 with dual quad Holley carbs and upgraded suspension. But it wasn't just modified under the hood. Shelby Mustangs also had significant cosmetic alterations, so everyone knew you were driving a Shelby, including a ventilated hood with functional ram air scoop, a ducktail rear spoiler, fender extensions, and air scoops on the quarter panels. It has GT500 side stripes, hood lock cables, and inboard grille-mounted driving lamps unique to Shelby Cobras, as well as that classy wood-grain steering wheel. All factory documentation was included too with this car, which was one of only 2,000 GT500 fastbacks produced in 1967. So not only was it far more common than the Corvette ZR1 we're looking at, but it also had a 3-speed automatic, and it was repainted. These are all massive boner deflators for classic sports car dorks, meaning that the GT500 sold for a paltry $185,000, nearly $100,000 less than what the Corvette got.
Our next matchup is a bit of a freak show. I don't even know what these are. A 1993 TVR Chimaera 430 versus a 1960 Mercedes-Benz 190B Benz Kombiwagen, or is it Kombiwagen? I don't know, but let the freak show begin.
The 1993 TVR Chimaera 430 is a hand-built British sports car known for its lightweight fiberglass body, tubular steel chassis, and raw driving experience. The Chimaera's 4.3-liter V8 has a fascinating lineage, starting as the Buick 215, a lightweight aluminum engine developed by GM in the 60s, a bit ahead of its time. They sold that design to British automaker Rover, who used it in vehicles like the Range Rover and the Land Rover Defender. In other words, the only reliable British engines are the American ones. TVR took this versatile engine, tuned it for performance, creating a high-revving powerhouse, producing around 280 horsepower with a 0 to 60 mile per hour time of about 4.8 seconds and a top speed of 150 miles an hour. While admired for its flowing design and its impressive power-to-weight ratio, the Chimaera is equally notorious for typical shitty English car reliability. It has 71,000 miles, not great, but not bad either. This is one slick-looking vehicle that sounds awesome, too. Is this car the poor man's Aston Martin? Now let's look at this 1960 Mercedes-Benz 190B. What in the Thomas the Tank Engine is this? This looks like the premature Fendt baby of a Ford Ranch wagon and Lowly the Worm's Apple car. Holy shit, this thing is heinous. The 1960 Benz Kombiwagen is an oddball. Built by coach builder Benz, this wagon variant of the Mercedes 190B is, thank God, one of only 349 wagon conversions crafted by Benz between 1958 and 1961. Good news, it's rare. Bad news, it's probably rare because I'd rather French kiss my dad than drive one of these monstrosities. The seller was dumb enough to put actual American currency he likely exchanged through labor into this rolling dumpster fire, including an overhaul of the engine, suspension, steering, brakes, exhaust, and even a full repaint and interior refinish. I bet he probably spent about $46,000 for that work. It uses a 1.9-liter inline-four paired with a column-shifted 4-speed manual transmission. Yep, you heard that right. As if this thing couldn't be a bigger punchline, it uses one of the few manual transmissions favored less than an automatic. So what did the TVR Chimaera fetch, guys? Lock it in. What do you think? Who says over 20? Raise your hand. Who says over 25,000? Raise your hand. Who says 50,000? I'm sorry, I misspoke. I meant 15,000. In the meantime, one of the nastiest ass wagons I have ever seen in my life, showing 56,000 miles with true mileage unknown. It's a TMU car, $46,251.
Number 4 is our big dollar matchup. You're looking at a classic Ferrari versus a new classic Porsche 911. Both of these sold for ridiculous sums of money. Let's look at both and you tell me which one you think is more expensive.
Whew, good God, I need some eye bleach after that combi nightmare, and here we go. We're looking at two of the most glamorous 2+2s of automotive history. The 1961 Ferrari 250 GTE, a masterpiece of Italian design and engineering, representing one of 954 Pininfarina-bodied 2+2 coupes produced over 3 years. No, I'm not talking about a pressed Italian sandwich. That's a panini. Pininfarina is a renowned Italian design house known for its collaborations with Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, and Maserati, and despite their renown, I probably still fucked up the pronunciation of their name. I'm from Florida. So what does that mean? It means the car's exterior design was created by Pininfarina rather than Ferrari. Their designs are celebrated for elegance, flowing lines, timeless appeal, showing only 1,500 kilometers, that's 900 miles in freedom units on its 5-digit odometer. The car underwent an extensive 4-year refurbishment in Modena, Italy between 2016 and 2020. Powered by a 3-liter V12 paired with a 4-speed manual transmission, the 250 GTE blends power and elegance. The cabinet is trimmed in luxurious red leather with black dashboard upholstery. What possibly could stand up against the Ferrari 250 GTE? We have a classic Italian beauty. Think about Sophia Loren in her prime. I've got a wheeled Claudia Schiffer right here. This is a 1997 Porsche 911 Turbo modified by Kaege Retro. You start with perhaps one of the most desirable 911s ever, the 993 series, the last and therefore most modern of the air-cooled cars produced from just 1995 to 1998. Make it a factory turbo. Give it style cues from the 1970s 911 RS. Built by Germany-based Kaege Retro, this car was extensively modified in 2020 with backdated carbon fiber body panels, heavily reworked interior, blending vintage aesthetics and modern engineering. Of course, this car comes with a twin turbocharged 3.6-liter flat-six boxer engine upgraded to produce an impressive 510 horsepower in a relatively small car. Kaege enhanced the car with an aftermarket ECU, a more powerful cooling system, including a custom carbon fiber intercooler. It uses the still great by modern standards 6-speed manual transmission that was introduced with the 993 model whenever it came out in 94 or 95. You've got flared fenders, carbon fiber ducktail spoiler, chrome accents, and Fuchs-style 18-inch wheels, seamlessly marrying vintage Porsche cues with modern craftsmanship. The interior equally bespoke with Recaro seats upholstered in green leather and pepita cloth. I don't know what that is, but it sounds fancy. And did I mention it has a mere 7,000 miles on it? Das gut. So which of these wins the heavyweight bout? The Ferrari netted $392,000. That's absolutely amazing. The Porsche finished behind the Ferrari. If this were a cheapest car contest, maybe. The Porsche pulled in 3 times more than the Ferrari, a remarkable $1.2 million. This 911 Turbo commanded such a high price due to its rarity, its bespoke craftsmanship from a respected design house, status as a one-of-a-kind collector's item, a true testament to Porsche's legacy, and how dumb Porsche people are with their money. Oh my God.
Finally, to close out this BaT-tle Royale, still not funny, huh? We're going to look at a couple of engines. You've got a Porsche car engine versus a Pratt Whitney jet engine.
All right, let's close this bitch out with something weird. Did you know Bring a Trailer sold jet engines? Me neither. This is a Pratt Whitney J57-P55 turbojet engine. You probably knew that just from looking at the picture, right? It's a legendary piece of aviation history. Developed in the 1950s with afterburners, produces 17,000 pounds of thrust, nearly 10 times the amount of force your mom exerts on a Taco Bell XXL grilled stuffed steak burrito when she's pounding it into her face. This variant was built for military applications, powered iconic aircraft like the F-100 Super Sabre, McDonnell F-101 Voodoo, and even the Lockheed U-2. In 1957, a Voodoo equipped with twin J57 set a world speed record of 1,207.64 miles per hour, showcasing its incredible capabilities. This particular model may or may not still work, as the buyer has no idea when it ran. If I tried selling this, some asshole in the comments would ask me why I was too lazy to plug it in and check function. That'd be pretty tough to do, considering this engine is almost 20 feet long and weighs almost 3 tons. And in this corner, we have the much smaller functioning Porsche Fuhrmann 4-cam engine designed by Ernst Fuhrmann in the early 1950s. Groundbreaking piece of engineering built to extract the maximum performance from Porsche's racing cars. 100 horsepower per liter. Very efficient. This particular variant made 180 horsepower from a 1678cc engine and was used in the Porsche 550 Spyder. So which sold for more, the jet engine or the car engine? You may be surprised, but the jet engine sold for a mere 25 grand. I guess there aren't too many buyers out there looking to swap this into their U-2 spy planes over the weekend in their garage. The Porsche engine, a staggering $230,000, one of only 8 known examples produced, making it exceptionally rare and valuable, not to mention it was refurbished in the 2010s.
Well, that's all we got today. Every auction has a story to tell. This is a fun little matchup. Which one surprised you guys the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you'd like to see this series return, also let me know in the comments. I'm just appreciative you're watching. Thanks for checking out Jim Ports. Take care.